Area beaches are still affected by red tide. We'll show you which ones are getting the worst of it. Plus, the Venice-Myakka River Park closed because of flooding. We'll show you how bad the damage is there so far. And what you need to know about school security in Suncoast schools ahead of the new school year. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, flooding has shut down a popular Sarasota County park. Late today, the Parks and Recreation Department announced that Myakka River Park in Venice is closed until further notice. ABC7's Rick Adams has more.
This is the path that visitors would normally take to enjoy the sights and sounds of Myakka River Park in Venice. Floodwaters now block their path, completely shutting down the popular park.
I've never seen them close the gate like that. So it must have been, the flooding must be very bad.
Parts of the Myakka River have come out of their banks after recent rains. Just 2 months ago in June, flooding associated with the subtropical storm Alberto shut down portions of the park. Joan Attenberg and her husband were ready to take their usual bike ride through the park until they realized the gates were closed.
We're always disappointed to come up here and find it flooded, which doesn't happen all that often, but we need the rain and we love living in nature, so we're patient with it. And we always know that we can go 4 miles that way and hit the Legacy Trail.
The Attenbergs say the obstacles that come with this kind of flooding just come with the territory here on the Suncoast.
Life's too good down here to be upset about a little flooding down by the river, which isn't really hurting anybody except preventing us from going in there.
That was ABC7's Rick Adams reporting. Meanwhile, tonight in other news, red tide is on the move. Which Suncoast beaches are now feeling the effects and which ones are in recovery mode? Sarasota County says Blind Pass to Nokomis Beach and Siesta Key, including Turtle Beach, had no additional fish kills as of today. At Lido Beach, 8 bags of fish were removed today, 10 bags taken from Ken Thompson Park. And South Lido Beach had 2 tons of fish that were removed by a machine. Now, dead fish are now washing up on beaches in Manatee County. All the symptoms that we had been seeing in Sarasota County have now moved north. That's the dead fish, the foul odor, and the dark, murky water. The latest update from the Mote Marine Laboratory shows Manatee and Coquina beaches fighting the effects of red tide.
It definitely went from a couple fish to a massive amount of fish. It was overpowering. It almost got me back in the car.
The red tide bloom is also affecting other beaches on Anna Maria Island. Today, the city of Holmes Beach announced that it will be placing dumpsters at beach access points to keep the smell of the red tide at bay. They'll be on 30th, 33rd, 36th, 46th, 67th, and 71st Street. The dumpsters will be for dead fish only. They also suggest you don't throw out any red tide waste into your regular garbage cans, which are not emptied as often. Also, volunteers are needed to help clean the beach. To find out how you can help and which beaches are clear of red tide, go to our website and look for this story at mysuncoast.com. As of today, Mote Marine Lab says there are 137 sea turtles that have been rescued or recovered this year in Sarasota and Manatee counties. That's 37 more than all of last year. Researchers could not put an exact number on how many of the deaths were a proven result of red tide, but they did say most of the 137 sea turtles were dead rather than rescued. 10 still remain at Mote's Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital.
We don't know statewide if it's been this bad. It's hard to say that ourselves. But we can say it's a pretty significant bloom for us in terms of the number of sea turtles that have been coming in.
Typically, nonprofit organization Save Our Seabirds says it will also receive birds that are dead or dazed from red tide, but fortunately they have not yet received any reports. And ABC7 is covering the red tide bloom extensively. Log on to mysuncoast.com to see all of our coverage over the past several weeks and answers to the most frequently asked questions about red tide. Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. And Bob, I know you over the weekend got to experience some of that red tide. Yeah, driving down in the boat on Manatee, right there by the Manatee Avenue bridge there, we went across, and sure enough, dead fish were there from there all the way to Cortez. So it was spreading northward, and you got a call from a captain today, north end of Anna Maria Island, thick dead fish there at Bean Point. So
It's not good. It's been avoiding Manatee County for a long time, but not now. 87, that's what it feels like right now. Had a few showers around, cooled the temperature down to about 77 degrees right around 6 o'clock this evening, and now it's back up. It's warming up, actually. East to northeast winds at 10. All the storms are offshore now, and that's the way they will stay. They'll stay on a westerly course. Folks in Venice and also in Siesta Key can see some lightning flashes out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's all associated with this particular cell right there, which is moving over some very warm water, and that's the reason why it's kind of exploding tonight offshore. But nothing over land. It's going to stay that way too until tomorrow afternoon, but even then, not many showers anticipated as a result of some dry air that has slipped into the upper levels of the atmosphere. Today, the main focus was in the Manatee County near State Road 70, 64 up to Ellington and also to northwest Bradenton, where they saw about a half-inch of rain. Although it's not depicted here, Northport had some rainfall earlier as well. We are expecting just a little bit of activity again later on tomorrow afternoon. Flood warnings are still out, but expected to be dropped, I think, by Wednesday. Jacqueline?
Now to a developing story involving one of the top officials with the Manatee County School District. The Deputy Superintendent of Business Services and Operations, Ron Serrana, has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal investigation. According to a source at the school district, it's because of a professional matter, not a personal or criminal matter. Serrana joined the Manatee County School District in September of 2016. He oversees more than a dozen departments, including human resources, finance, budget, and payroll. The superintendent of Sarasota County Schools asking the school board to wait to make any final decisions on his contract. The board recently approved a contract extension for Dr. Todd Bowden. It also approved eliminating a clause in the contract that would have allowed the board to fire him without cause. The board is supposed to vote on those changes at tomorrow's meeting, but Bowden is asking them to delay the vote until after the start of the school year and after the school board elections. There's no word yet if the board will go forward with that vote as planned. Well, school begins a week from today, if you can believe it, and local school districts will have an increased security on campus. The big question is whether or not Manatee County school guardians will be ready in just 1 week. So far, school district officials tell us they've selected 40 in total, 38 guardians and 2 lead guardians. Their job is to make sure students, faculty, and staff are safe from any threats. Law enforcement and student resource officers will be on campus until those guardians pass their firearm tests.
Majority of it is firearms training, precision pistol training, simulator training, doing active shooter training, and actually basic firearms proficiency training.
We'll be training them either on live fire ranges or in schools to prepare them to be ready for their objective.
Once the guardians complete training, there will be at least 1 guardian or school resource officer at each of the 50 campuses within the Manatee County School District. Meanwhile, in Sarasota County, all 21 elementary schools will have a newly hired officer this year. Because the school district's police department is still hiring officers, this school year the school resource officers and deputies already in the middle and high schools will remain there as their security. However, the chief says this time next year the school district police department should be fully staffed with at least 1 officer in each school.
Right now our goal is 1. We're going to have a number of relief officers. We're going to have a detective bureau to vet out any kind of concerns or perceived threats or investigate any kind of offenses that occur on our properties.
Police Chief Paul Grahowski says 24 years is the average amount of experience from the new hires. Some officers have worked locally while others are coming from places like New York and Chicago. Now we're covering everything you need to know before the school year starts. Tomorrow morning on Good Morning Suncoast, ABC7's Marla Spence will be focusing in on school transportation in Manatee County. Everything from bus driver shortages to the new buses that the county bought. ABC7's Jackie Kelly will also talk to us about the teacher shortage in Sarasota County. There's only 1 week left until school starts and they have about 95 open positions. And August is National Immunization Month, the time for parents to make sure their kids get shots before the first day of school. State health officials say updated vaccines are required from kindergarten to 7th grade in all Florida schools. A completed form is required for registration in Suncoast Public Schools. Students without required immunizations will be sent home from school, and students will not be able to take part in extracurricular activities until that school has the form showing that they've received the required vaccinations. Also, the health department is offering free extended hours in its Northport and Sarasota immunization clinics. Wednesday, the Sarasota Immunization Clinic on Ringling Boulevard will stay open until 7:30, and then on Thursday and Friday it will be open until 7 o'clock. For a complete schedule at the office closest to you, head over to our website at mysuncoast.com and simply look for this story. Well, this month is also Children's Eye and Health Safety Month. More than 80% of learning in a typical classroom occurs visually, so doctors want to make sure that students' eyesight is in good shape as we get closer to the new school year. Catching serious eye problems early can help preserve vision. Some warning signs include dry eyes with itching or burning, redness around the eyes, and trouble adjusting to dark rooms. Be sure to check with your child's doctor if vision problems seem to be getting worse. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus how a Good Samaritan with a gun helped save lives this weekend. And the search for a missing 3-year-old boy leads police to an even scarier find in the desert of New Mexico.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, Eye Comfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Introducing the ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker. This all-new mobile weather lab is just one more way. The team you trust is keeping you ahead of the storms. The ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker, sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
Bob, we're glad to have you back with us this week. I hope you had a good vacation.
Yeah, I did. It was a staycation, and luckily we were out in the water and enjoying the bay before the red tide moved in. It's pretty bad right now, and looks like things are going to be, again, east winds tomorrow, so that's better for area beaches, but then things change around on Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to talk about that. Sarasota Tower Cam showing those storms moving from the east to the west across the bay, bringing some rainfall occasionally. Some of the rain was pretty heavy to the north in Manatee County near northwest Braden and Anna Maria Island. Also, Palmetto, Ellington, and Bradenton getting a pretty good downpour this evening. That has since moved on. It's out into the Gulf of Mexico, and boy, some spectacular pictures once again. Sunset, especially south, they had a little bit more sunshine there. Venice Jetty, Cindy Desmond, just a lone man fishing right there on the jetty, and Venice Beach, just down the road from there. Stone Castle, just a glimpse of the sun before it went below the horizon, and this one's below it, and this is at Casey Key. Fred Seeger. Thanks for all those photos, folks. And changing wind means changing the times of the storms. It looks like today, late afternoon. Tomorrow, again, looks like mainly afternoon and evening. And then things start to change a little bit with mainly inland storms developing by the mid part of the week. And there'll only be a few storms around tomorrow. The rain chances are not all that high because of some dry air that has moved into the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. And then it will stay hot. With an east wind, we had a high today near record-breaking, or tying the record for today. And it looks like it'll stay hot again tomorrow, although the humidity won't be as high. It will start to change on Wednesday and Thursday. Going back out of the west means higher humidity and higher heat indices. Well, you can see all the rain now offshore, pushing off toward the west, away from the coast. And that's the way it's going to be overnight. No rumble of thunder expected, as that east wind will continue to stabilize things. Tomorrow, a different story. As high pressure located off the Carolina coast will bring us that easterly wind component, and that will butt up against the sea breeze. But with that dry air in place, we're not expecting a widespread outbreak of heavy thunderstorms. There will be a few, but not a wide outbreak. Now, hot weather will continue. We'll see temperatures warming into the mid-90s with that east wind and little sea breeze developing. Now, there is a frontal boundary that's going to come down, which is unusual for this time of year to have a cold front come all the way down into the southeast. This one will do so. Right now, it's over the central U.S. It will bump that high-pressure ridge down to our south. That will give us that changing wind more out of the west-southwest. Now, there are flood warnings still in effect. The one in Hardee County has expired for the Peace River, but we are still seeing some flooding, minor flooding going on now at the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park, also into near Arcadia, the Peace River there above flood stage. That dry air I mentioned, you can see it all right here. This is a tropical upper atmospheric trough that is moving in our direction. Now, it's not going to be a big rainmaker, but what it will do is still keep this dry air moving across the state, which will limit our storms tomorrow. The wind flow is all important in determining how much the effects of the red tide will be around. And with an east wind generally throughout most of the day tomorrow, we'll see the harmful impacts spread off toward the west. Now, as far as the futurecast goes, look for a few spotty showers around the 2 o'clock hour, and even up until 5, 6 o'clock, there'll be a few spotty showers and a few storms around, and then eventually clearing skies. Now, by Wednesday, the activity will move inland and move mainly to the east coast due to that changing wind that we'll see beginning on Wednesday and Thursday. So that'll be the player right there. 81 degrees right now in Sarasota, 80 in Orlando, 83 in Miami. Currently, we have 81 degrees and a dew point temperature up there at 75, making it feel like 87 degrees. The high today, 1 degree shy of tying the record of in 1996. It was up to 94 degrees. And again, that frontal system causing all sorts of rough weather over the central plain states. That will be changing our wind direction beginning Wednesday. East winds tomorrow will start off at 10 knots. That'll be good for beachgoers. And then by late in the afternoon, they'll switch around to the west at 5 knots. Seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out there. And the 7-day forecast. So just a slight chance for late day showers tomorrow. 40% chance, but mainly inland storms on Wednesday. Then we'll get back to a few coastal showers in the morning on Thursday. Same holds true on Friday with that west wind keeping temperatures up there as far as the feels like temperature goes through the weekend. Jacqueline?
Thank you so much, Bob. Take a look at this new footage of a deadly explosion on an Italian highway. At least 3 people are dead after a gas tanker exploded. 67 people were hurt, including at least 2 police officers. Most were taken to the hospital with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree burns. The explosion caused significant damage to the road, leaving huge holes in the pavement. There's no word on what led up to that incident. A Florida man is being called a hero for taking out his gun and shooting back at a man accused of opening fire at a back-to-school event. You can see here children scattering when the gunfire began. They were at a backpack giveaway event when the gunman opened fire on Saturday. Authorities are still not releasing the identity of the gunman, but they are saying he got into a fist fight earlier in the day and then returned to the park with a gun. There were about 150 people at that event when the shooting started. The search for a missing toddler in New Mexico leads to a shocking discovery: 11 emaciated children living in a secluded compound without food or water. ABC's Emily Rao has the update on the rescue of those children as the search for the missing boy continues.
The makeshift living quarters deep in the New Mexico desert, home to 11 children ages 1 to 15.
They were in bad shape. I mean, the children were dirty. They didn't have clothes that fit them properly. Just seeing them walking around like that, it was hard to see.
Investigators say there was no electricity or running water. 16 people living in filth, shocking even to the veteran sheriff.
I'm a 30-year police officer. This is by far the worst thing I've ever seen as far as living conditions. This one hit us all very hard.
Authorities first approaching the property hoping to find a missing 3-year-old boy and his father, 39-year-old Siraj Wahaj. Inside, no sign of the boy, but police saying they did find Wahaj heavily armed. 5
fully loaded AR magazines, 30-round magazines. He was in possession of an AR assault rifle and 4 other handguns.
After an hours-long standoff, he was booked on a Georgia warrant for child abduction. Another man also arrested for harboring a fugitive. And the children the sheriff describes as looking like starving refugees, now in protective custody.
Our goal is to, as quickly as possible, get them assessed, cleaned up, fed.
Authorities also arrested 3 women believed to be the mothers of those children. All 5 adults now charged with 11 counts of felony child abuse, and the search continues for that Georgia boy who turns 4 years old today. Emily Rao, ABC News, New York.
New insight into the mind of accused mass shooter Nicholas Cruz. A newly released transcript shows school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz spat out, quote, "kill me," and then cursed as he sat alone in a sheriff's interrogation room just hours after the massacre that left 17 dead. Detectives had just left Cruz alone to get him some water when the 19-year-old suspect made that exclamation. Prosecutors released a redacted transcript of Cruz's post-shooting statement this afternoon after a judge ruled last month that non-confession portions should be made public. Well, 250,000 Floridians have already voted in the 2018 primary election, more than 3 weeks ahead of Election Day. As of this morning, numbers from the State Division of Elections show more than 120,000 Republicans across the state had already turned in vote-by-mail ballots. Nearly 100,000 Democrats and 40,000 unaffiliated Floridians have also voted. Beyond absentee ballots, early voting begins next Monday in several Florida counties and by next weekend across the state.
The ballots have to be received by our office by election night, August 28th. That's 7 p.m. August 28th. If you do have a vote-by-mail ballot and you want to drop it off at one of our early voting sites, that's a possibility. You can certainly do that. You cannot bring them to the polling place, though, and drop them off.
So far, the highest number of vote-by-mail ballots have been turned in by citizens living in Hillsborough, Lee, and Pinellas County. Well, according to a new study, people are trading in warm beaches for chilly plains when it comes to retiring. The study by Bankrate ranked the top states for people to retire in, taking into consideration what people want. The survey looked at 7 factors, including cost of living, weather, and healthcare quality.
Where Florida gets dinged is, broadly speaking, the quality of health care. Its healthcare system broadly is not regarded as being terribly good.
Now, although Florida has traditionally been a popular destination for retirees, it did not top the list of this year's best places to retire. That honor goes to South Dakota, followed by other cold weather locations, Utah, Idaho, and New Hampshire. New York checked in as the worst place to retire. Today marks the start of commercial and recreational lobster season across Florida. Fishermen must have the proper license and permit to catch the popular shellfish. Visit our website at mysuncoast.com for a link to where you can get those permits, along with what you need to know about fishing rules, regulations, and where to harvest those lobsters. Stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Becca and I are having a bachelorette party. Not that kind.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Becca's journey ends right here. Emmy-nominated Kimmel, new tonight on ABC.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it
using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
According to a new survey by U.S. News & World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
The body, it is a work of art and a powerful ally in the fight against cancer. A new approach called immunotherapy works by helping our immune system correctly identify and eradicate many types of cancer cells. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to learn more. Your body might just be your greatest hope.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now, sports.
Well, college football season kicks off in less than a month, and the UNC Tar Heels will begin this season without several of their players. 13 Tar Heels are suspended to start the season after a scandal involving their shoes. The players were selling the shoes that they were issued by the team, a violation of NCAA rules. Well, the head of NASCAR facing some serious charges tonight after he was busted last night in the Hamptons. Brian France was arrested for driving while intoxicated and criminal possession of oxycodone. France is free after his arraignment this morning. NASCAR says it takes the arrest, quote, as a serious matter and will issue a statement after it has all the facts. Supporters of Ohio State football coach Urban Meyer rallied on his behalf tonight. Meyer currently on paid leave from the football team for the way that he handled repeated domestic violence claims against assistant coach Zach Smith. Meyer fired Smith more than a week ago. Last week, he said on Twitter that he elevated an incident in 2015 to the proper channels.
He handled the situation according to how his job required him to.
Ohio State is expected to complete its investigation in 2 weeks. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
My California classes experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams, protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Too cute, right? Well, this dog is the best dolphin spotter in Sarasota Bay. At least that's what his owner thinks. ABC7 viewer Captain Kathy sent us this video from her boat ride this weekend on Sarasota Bay tours. And hey, the dog does a pretty good job at it.
That's Sailor, by the way. Pup used to be on board with her, too. She's a great captain. I saw her out there. She helped us find some nice sand dollars, and she's always available to help. I give her a forecast every once in a while. But that is amazing. She sent me that video as well, and I posted it. And,
so cute.
Yeah, it is a cute shot.
I like it. Well, thank you so much, Bob, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good night.